Welcome to the Law of Attraction Tribe podcast. I'm your host, Stephanie Keith, and today we are talking about the 4 things that successful, wealthy people do that you want to make sure you're implementing in your routine. So let's go ahead and get ready for this. If you want to dive into this topic and really start to learn about the way that wealthy people just think completely different than the way that we were raised to think, I have a free mini course. It's still available. You can get it by going to the link in the show notes or go to theLawOfAttractionTribe.com and select the button that says Manifest Money. It's a free mini course, but it talks about how, in general, as a society, we were conditioned and grown up to be workers and have a worker mindset. And this course is going to explain how that's not what happens with the wealthy private school kids, the kids that are part of these elite groups, wealthy groups, have these mentors. They're taught something differently. And so I'm going to go over in that course what those things are. It's totally free. You can grab it by going to theLawOfAttractionTribe.com or just click the link in the show notes. Okay, so what are the things that wealthy, successful people are doing every single day? Number 1, they have a morning routine. This is something that I have seen looking at any type of person I could possibly think of that I admire that has been really successful. They all have some sort of morning routine that requires waking up early. And this is something that, just like anything else, it's going to be difficult if you're not used to it. But if you create the habit, you do it for about 60, 70 days, which I know that seems like a long time, but you'll get to a point where your body will just naturally wake up at that time and you actually start to look forward to it. And the whole idea is a lot of successful people, I mean, really everyone, but especially successful people, they have to really keep track of their time and set a lot of boundaries. And so they get up early because that's their time to focus on themselves before the world starts demanding their time. So they wake up early and they take care of their mind, their body. They get clear on what they want. They don't just jump into the day and go onto someone else's agenda. They set intention and create their own agenda. So start out with getting up a little bit earlier. I recommend starting just getting up 10 minutes earlier. And then after a week of that, try getting up 20 minutes earlier. And then after a week of that, maybe 30 minutes earlier. And really, you don't need more time than that. But I think that once you start to implement these positive things in the morning, you're going to see how it impacts every area of your life. And you're going to actually start looking forward to it. So start waking up earlier. And the rest of these things that I'm going to talk about are going to involve your morning routine. So the number 2 thing that they do is they take care of their mind and their body. So this is typically through some form of meditation. And there's really no right or wrong way. You could go for a walk outside and that's a walking meditation. You could sit in a quiet room for 3 minutes and that's a meditation. You can listen to a guided meditation. It really doesn't matter. They just do something to focus on their breathing, to go inward, and to take care of themselves and their mind and their connection with their intuition, with the universe. And honestly, I think that this is why they're able to have so many successful deals go through, because they trust their intuition, their gut, whatever you want to call it, because they're so fine-tuned with that. They take really good care of that and they tune into it. And then typically some form of movement, whether it's stretching or a workout, or again, like I said, walking outside, doing something to take care of their body, because when you take care of your body, your mind gets the benefits from that as well. You don't have the trouble with focus and brain fog and all these other things. So it gets them energized to take on the rest of the day, which is likely going to be filled with a lot of big decisions and things like that. And this helps them be prepared for that. Number 3, intention. So they have a crystal clear intention for their day. If they have any meetings, there is a reason for it, and they understand that reason, and they're going to allow their time to be used because there is a purpose behind it. They don't go through an arbitrary 9-to-5 job and show up to a pointless meeting just because. They have intention with everything they do because their time is valuable. So have intention for your day. And in the beginning, you can start with one goal. I used to do this all the time. I would wake up early before my day job and I would say, what is one thing that I could do right now before I go to my day job that is going to move me closer to my goal? And I would work on that. And sometimes I would work on it for 5 minutes, and sometimes I would work on it for an entire hour. Sometimes I would start it and then finish it over my lunch break or in the evening. But the point is, I set the intention. And when I set the intention, I would get it done. Before I started setting intentions, I would think like, oh, it'd be great to have my own business, but months would go by and nothing would change. I would be no closer to starting my own business than I was before. It wasn't until I got really intentional with what I wanted to accomplish for the day and week ahead that I actually started accomplishing things that brought me the life that I have today. So that's how important it is. And I guarantee you every successful person does it. I remember in an interview hearing Oprah, someone was in a meeting with Oprah and she sat down at the table and the very first question she asked was, what is the purpose of this meeting? What's the intention we're going to set for this meeting? And if you didn't have a good one, she would leave. That's how purposeful you should be with your time, because your time is precious and it absolutely shouldn't just be thrown around or having, like, I feel like in companies, so many people have meetings just for the sake of having meetings to try to look busy. And we have to get out of that mindset. If you want to get out of the middle class, you have to stop thinking with a middle class, middle management mindset, and you have to start thinking with a wealth mindset. And what could I be doing with my time that's going to make me wealthier? Not what could I be doing with my time to look busy. Busy does not equate to wealth. Hard work does not equate to wealth. So you got to start shifting that thinking and setting intentions for what steps you're going to take and how you're going to use your time and energy to create wealth in your life. And then number 4 is they make personal development a priority. They all invest in personal development. They read books, they listen to podcasts, they have mentors, they're in masterminds. They put themselves in situations that are going to take them further. They put themselves in situations with people who are a step ahead of them. And by doing that, they consistently grow and they consistently up level. And they know the importance of that, and they're willing to invest and pay a good amount of money for those opportunities. Just like a lot of wealthy people will pay for a country club membership. They're not paying for the tennis, okay? They're paying for the relationships that's going to build within that country club. They send their kids to elite, super expensive private schools. Are they doing that because they want them to have a better teacher? Well, yeah, that's part of it. But another part of that is they're creating an environment for their kids where they're around wealthy people. And they're creating relationships with wealthy people. So I know listening to that, you might think, well, that is great for them and not for me. I can't do that. That's the problem right there. You're having the mentality that you can't because you weren't born with money, or you didn't go to a private school, or you aren't wealthy yet. If you want to be wealthy, you have to shift that, and you have to start thinking, what can I do to put myself in those situations now? So maybe you can't afford a mastermind or a coaching program right now. Okay, well, start listening, first of all, to a podcast or read a book every single day. Every single day, start doing something for self-development and start finding things. Maybe there's a free online Facebook group that you could join that has people that you feel called to, like people that are doing what you feel called to do and that are a step ahead of you. Start putting yourself in those scenarios, right? And then once you get to that level, once you start putting yourself in those free scenarios and you start getting up to that level of the people in those free scenarios, then you take it to the next level. And okay, is there a mastermind I can afford? Is there a coach that I can afford? And maybe it's not your dream mastermind or coach, but maybe it's a smaller one that is just a step ahead of you that you can afford for now. You go and do that, right? And then you up level a little bit, and then you join a more expensive one. So just the idea is constant growth and constantly surrounding yourself with people who have already done it, who are a step ahead of you. One of my favorite entrepreneurs, Jenna Kutcher, she was like, I always want to be the dumbest person in the room. The first time I heard that, I was like, what? Like, who wants to be the dumbest person in the room? Like, don't you feel stupid? Like, wouldn't you want to be the smartest person in the room? And no, she wants to be the dumbest person in the room because that means that she's in the right room. She's going to learn a lot and she's going to up level like crazy. If everyone around her is way ahead of her, she's going to have no choice but to very quickly up level. So find a way to put yourself in those situations where you can up level, where you can grow, where you can learn, and make that a top priority. So those are the 4 things that we all can do. It's just a matter of setting the intention that you're going to actually do it. And the best way to do that is to knock them all out first thing in the morning, get up early, and then the rest of the day will feel like a breeze. If you can take care of yourself, your mind, your body, set your intentions, you're going to have a better day and a better week for it. All right. Thank you so much for tuning into this episode. And if you are at the stage where you want a mastermind program, we have the doors open now to the Millionaire Money Mindset Mastermind. So I will link that in the show notes. You can go in now and claim your spot. They're filling up. It's going to be a 6-week program where we walk you through our 6-week framework for completely shifting from that middle class mindset to that millionaire's mindset. And it's a paradigm shifting mastermind where you're going to tackle all the subconscious crap that holds you back and keeps you small. It keeps you stuck in the middle class. And it's not your fault. It's the way we were conditioned. And we are going to use everything from neuroscience, subliminals, hypnosis, EFT, to group coaching calls, to journal prompts, homework. I mean, we've got everything in there. It's a packed 6 weeks, but it literally like shifts everything. It shifts all those limiting beliefs and it gets you into this place of opportunity and possibility. So if that sounds like something that you're interested in, go to the link in the show notes. You can take a look, get the details. And of course, you could always reach out to me on Instagram at Law of Attraction Tribe if you want to talk further or have any questions. All right. So that's all I have for you today. Nice and quick. And I'll see you back here next time.